So in this Vblog, I just wanted to share a little bit about Ashton House Ministries and what that is and the role that it plays in the structure of our ministry. So this whole thing is a ministry, so there's different aspects to it, and there may even be different aspects added to it at a later stage. But basically, Ashton House Ministries oversees the whole lot. So Ashton House Music Co., the Church Network Ministry Band, my own music ministry side of things, and possibly other endeavours later on. So basically it's a family-run ministry. We're financing at least the startup ourselves, as we've always been managing the operations of anything we've been doing, which could be considered outreach or missions or anything like that. So basically this whole thing has a missions heart. We don't want to go as entertainers, we want to go as ministers, missionaries. So whether it's musicians, whether it's people on the prayer team, whether it's whatever it be, like for the musical aspects, we don't consider that it will just be praise and worship services or even just contemporary services. It's more like ministry times where we just allow God to be who He is and do what He wants to do. And we will be preaching and sharing and maybe even spending weekends in various locations. So when we go to a place, we go for the whole and spend the whole weekend with them and integrate and network and whatever else. When we minister from home, like online, digital, which obviously in this current situation in 2020, we're becoming more adept to digital media and different ways that we can utilize that, like with Zoom and things like that. So we're all on a learning curve where many of us Christians, we're all being called to or even challenged to maybe reposition ourselves. It's like my own home church pastor likes to say, and I agree with this, it feels from God that this time is like a reset. And funny enough, with my music and doing all the pre-mastering of the back catalogue last year in 2019 and preparing it for re-release this year, it felt like I was repacking my toolbox. So the part of what's going on at the moment, I think, is quite poignant. And I think it is not just for myself and my family, but for many Christians out there wanting to do things for God and step out and actually love people genuinely, start doing some things, even in the public space, in the public square, and that's what we want to do. So, I was at Bible college a couple of years ago when it was my turn to go through and get some training. And one of the hypothetical questions posed to the class was, if you were to write the book of your life, what would the title be? And I immediately knew the answer. The answer was derivative of His name, which is I am. So the answer was, He is. That's it. He is. Anything we could ever be, ever become, isn't gained or obtained in our own strength. But it's because He puts us there. He's the one that deserves the credit. The glory is not our own. The glory is his. It belongs to him. See, and anything that we could ever be in eternity is only ever on account of the finished work of the cross. Nothing else. We're made righteous by faith. I guess you could say we finished the race by faith. That's what we should be aiming to do. That's what I'm aiming to do. So anyway, back to the ministry. So it's a family-run ministry. It will oversee several different aspects. And some of those things we do know about already, what they're going to look like, or at least in part. But other things we don't. We'll find out along the way. So this is my family stepping out, hoping to encourage others to step out, especially in the public square. And another thing that I studied in Bible college was about, I can't remember his name now, but the guy who founded YWAM, Youth with a Mission, right? He and another person had similar dreams, and when they came together and told each other the dreams, they realized it was about the same thing. And what it became, after seeking God, what became evident was that this dream represented 7 mountains of influence, like in culture. So it was really about influencing culture. So in media, in arts, in the workplace, in these different aspects. And us as Christian musicians, we may have various convictions about how our music should be used or put forward or targeted to, or whatever else. Like many of us are convicted that we should be writing worship songs or music for worship and deep prayer. And if you're in that place, I encourage you to stay in that place. Go with your conviction. Don't look the other way. Don't worry about what other people think. For me, I feel like I come from the place of a brother in the Lord sharing my testimony, or from the place of my testimony. Because it's also one of the 3 things in the book of Revelation that the Bible says that the saints overcame by. So the blood of the Lamb, the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives so as to shrink from death. So testimony is powerful. And when you're willing to step out and represent him in the public space, one encourages other Christians who would dare to step out as well to say, I don't feel alone in this. There are actually other people doing this. You know what I mean? Like in church, I'm one of the lead worshippers. That's awesome. That's amazing. I think worship is the pinnacle of what we could ever do as Christian musicians, is lead people into a place of encounter, a fresh encounter with him. That's awesome. But for me, my niche or my longing has always been to communicate the love of God and the news of what he has done, and do so in song, and then reach out from there, branch out from there, and in whatever form that takes, in whatever way that looks. So anyway, that should cover at least, or give you a basic idea of what this is all about. So that's Ashton House Ministries. And that was the 2nd edition of one Vlogs from this channel. Okay, so thanks for your time.